What's up, everybody? And today we are doing another update with the whole Ukraine-Russia situation. It's been a mixed bag, right? It's been pretty horrific the past few days. I've not been making a video the past couple of days because I've been traveling. I've been heading west from Florida, so it has been a little bit of a kerfuffle for me. But I have been trying to keep up to date, not only for me, but for you guys, right? I'm trying to give you guys the most up-to-date information as I possibly can from at least the most reliable sources that I can see, so that you guys can get the information, because at the end of the day, there are people from Ukraine who watch this. There is a ton of people from Europe that watch this, and if I can give you a little bit of information that you don't already have, then this video has done its job, right? So we're going to crack on with some more Ukraine-Russia stuff. Before we get started, though, question of the day, which is really small. Also, you might be wondering why I'm not wearing headphones. They ran out and I'm not watching a video anyway. We're going to be talking about updates, so we don't need the headphones right now, guys. Anyway, the question is from It's Adrian. He says, question: we seem to be getting in a mix of major events in history these past few years. A lot of families have been struggling from these events. What would you wish to do to help as many people as you can that are in need? So, okay, there are a few. Well, there's only one major thing I can really give, and that's information, right? Through these videos, giving you updates on what's happening, the current affairs, but also maybe my personal experience. There's one major thing that I've kind of learned from the past couple of years. So we've had a pandemic, we're now having an invasion in Europe. There's one major thing I've learned is that nothing's permanent, right? There's nothing really permanent. So your local gas station, the prices will change. The local supermarket might run out of stock of certain foods. All these things are kind of worrying, right? They kind of disrupt your normality. The people in Ukraine know this more than anyone right now. Their whole world has been turned upside down. I cannot even imagine what it's like to be there right now. So my kind of takeaway from this is being more self-sustainable, right? Being able to not need as much stuff from the outside world. I live in a very weird kind of bubble where I don't really follow the same housing situations what a lot of people do. I live a nomadic life, so I travel around, right? I don't have a mortgage. I don't pay rent. I have a school bus that's converted into an RV that houses me and my family, right? We are completely off-grid. The only thing is the internet, and sometimes we hook up with water and power if we need it, but for the most part, we can be completely off-grid. And that's going to benefit us a lot. If there's a pandemic, if there's a forest fire, if there's an invasion, if there's any of that, we can literally pick up everything we've got and move. I'm not saying that's for everyone. It's certainly not. But what I'm trying to say is that there are certain things you might be able to do in your own little home, your land, or the area if you're in a flat, that will make your life a little bit more you'll be a little bit less reliant on other people, right? That's kind of what you want. So for me, right now, moving around, being off-grid is perfect. I do want to start, growing my own food and be completely off the grid one day, and with food and be full self-sustainable. That's kind of like where I want to be, because I feel like the world is kind of going to shit, right? So being more self-sustainable is something that I want to know more about and learn more about and give you my knowledge about. So if you want to know more videos about that, if you want me to give you videos about being off-grid, being able to be a nomadic life, or even being able to, be self-sustainable, let me know in the comments section, because I will certainly give that information to you, because I genuinely feel like that's probably one of the best ways to go at the moment. Yeah, we're seeing people lose their houses. We're seeing people starve because they can't go to the grocery store because prices are going up, all there's shortages. So being more self-sustainable in 2022 is kind of a no-brainer, right? Even if it's just a little bit more self-sustainable, it's a no-brainer. Anyway, it's Adrian. Thank you for your question. If you want your question answered, leave it in the comments section down below. But for now, we're going to crack on with some more updates on the Ukraine-Russia situation. Again, I've been searching around. A lot of people have been saying they don't like the BBC. I've been searching around for many different sources for the best kind of place to be, and it seems like we're getting a lot of similar headlines on a lot of different news sources, whether they're one side of the political spectrum or the other. There seems to be a lot of kind of when it comes to Ukraine, there's a lot of consistency. There's a lot of pointing fingers at other people depending on what sources you're at, but when it comes to news specifically in Ukraine, this seems to be the best summary for it. We're also going to go over to the live map and have a look at that after this. But for now, let's pop this up. Let's go over the summary real quick, like we do. Go over this and then go over to the live map. I want to go over some tactical updates. Tactical updates that I think are changing the flow of the invasion, okay, guys? So let's go over the summary first. The UN General Assembly votes to condemn Russia's invasion in its first emergency meeting since 1997. I don't know what the repercussions are on just condemning the Russian invasion. It's just like saying we don't like it. That's it. Like, what other... Is there any other repercussions apart from just us saying we condemn it? Like, I get, like, a lot of people online are saying we stand with Russia. I get that, right? But at the same time, actions speak louder than words, right? So what's the UN doing about it? That's what I want to know. The administrator of US aid, Samantha Power, said the vote marks a global rebuke of historical proportions. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I feel like the past month is probably going to go down in history as one of the like major events in the past, I don't know, 50 years, right? Since World War II, really. This is probably one of the biggest events since World War II. So yeah, it's going to go down in history. I don't think that's, anything special. I mean, we know that already, right? That's not a surprise in this summary. That's what I'm trying to say. The International Criminal Court opens an investigation into potential war crimes by Russia in Ukraine. This is a big one. I watched a video the other day of a guy and his dad in a car. Full-grown guy and his dad. And they get pulled over by Russian forces and they just gun him down. And the guy's screaming for his dad. And it was heartbreaking to see, like genuinely heartbreaking to see. That's war crimes. That is 100% war crimes. Wearing Ukraine uniforms, going into Russia, that's war crimes. What the repercussions of this are going to be, I don't know. We're only going to wait and find out, aren't we? Hundreds of people are feared dead in the southern port of Mariupol following hours of sustained shelling, city deputy mayor says. We know the numbers are going to go up and up and up, and they're going to carry on going up, and it's heartbreaking, genuinely heartbreaking. Russia deserves to pay the consequences, right? Like, how we can talk about sanctions, we can talk about like economic restrictions, and then we can talk about physical restrictions, right? So economically, the sanctions are really hurting Russia a lot, like big time. And what Putin's done is actually completely backfired on him. There's a lot of things that he's done that's completely slapped him in the face in return, right? Sweden's now looking to join NATO, and like Ukraine signed to try and join the EU. Like, this crazy. Like, Russia has completely kicked himself in the back for this. So, yeah. Like, the fact that they've killed hundreds of people is obvious. They're going to do that because, obviously, Russia... They're getting backed into a corner, right? They're getting backed into a corner. Putin said the whole invasion of Ukraine is to unite the people. He's done the complete opposite of that. He's done the complete opposite. No one in Ukraine right now wants to be part of Russia now. Of course they don't. Like, look at the state of it. Ukraine's completely killing people. Innocent people. He said one thing and he's doing another. It's a joke. The mayor of the city... What's that? Kherson says the area is under control of Russian forces. Yep, Russia are taking ground. I'm going to go onto the live map in a second and show you more of that. And we'll go over tactics and what I think they're trying to do. Okay, guys? Moscow's defense ministry has admitted that the first time that 498 Russian soldiers have been killed during the invasion of Ukraine. I bet that number is way higher. This is Moscow admitting it, Russia admitting it. My guess it's probably double that. We'll have to wait and see. But Russia's not going to come out and say that they're in more trouble than they actually are, because surprisingly, Russia's not doing as good as it thinks it's going to do. So we'll go over that again in the live map. Roman Abramovich, I can't say it, guys, I'm sorry. It's the Chelsea owner, right? We'll sell Chelsea. Oh, okay. We'll sell Chelsea with proceeds going to charitable foundations to help war victims. Interesting. We know this guy, Abramovich. We know the Chelsea owner is friends with Putin, or he was friends with Putin. So I don't know how I feel about this. He's going to sell Chelsea. I don't know. Do we really care about football right now? Like, obviously, I'm a massive Manchester United fan. I love football. It's everything. It's a lot to me, right? I had a season ticket. I love football. But at the same time, we're talking about war here. Like, he's trying to save his own ass. I get that. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know the intricacies of the sanctions he's specifically getting. I know he's not allowed to live in the UK anymore. I don't know whether he's allowed to visit because air restrictions happening. But just to get up and sell the whole of Chelsea FC is massive. At the end of the day, another billionaire is just going to buy it, and it'll be the same old for any football club. Let's be honest. Talks between Ukraine and Russia are expected to resume as negotiations travel to Belarus for another meeting. We'll see about this. This again is like wait and see. We're waiting around to see what these negotiations, go ahead with. But I don't trust anything Russia say. When Ukraine gave all its nuclear missiles to Russia, there was a handshake saying, no invasion of Ukraine. We're friends. There's no invasion of Ukraine. Now look where we are. Ukraine have got rid of all the nukes, given them to Russia, and there's an invasion of Ukraine. So they've completely gone back on the word. So I don't trust anything Russia say anymore. You can't, can you? You literally can't trust anything they say anymore, unfortunately. Putin's really isolating himself. Apparently, the rumor is that he's like isolated himself from advisors and everything. We've seen that picture of him on that long table where he's like away from everyone. It's just so bizarre. Like, is it COVID that's making him do that? Is he just paranoid? We saw that one where it was like there was a Russian special agent or something talking, and Putin's like scaring the shit out of him. If you've not seen that video, that's freaky as well. So there's this weird kind of dynamic that's happening there right now with Putin and Russia, where he seems to just be kind of going a little crazy, right? Am I wrong by saying that? Let me know in the comments what you think. Let's go over a few of these quick updates, and then we're going to go over to the live map because I want to talk military tactics, okay? Yeah, we're seeing financial worries in Moscow. We're seeing it in Russia in general because the SWIFT bank, they're trying to take out as much money as they can. We know that the Russian currency has dropped in value like dramatically as well. So that's a thing. Kiev subway now holds 15,000 evacuees. Oh my god, I couldn't even imagine. Poor people. Poor people. Apparently it can accommodate up to 100,000. Jeez. He added that the system currently has water and bathrooms as well as food and medicine. Fantastic. So the important part is taking care of these refugees, right? Taking care of these families, the children, the women, and the young. Like, all these people need to be taken, the elderly, they need to be taken care of, anyone who can't fight, and this is really important that they do this. Ukraine launches hotline for foreign students. Interesting. That makes sense. We have established an emergency hotline for Africa, Asia, and other students wishing to leave Ukraine because of Russian invasion. We are working intensely to ensure their safety and speed up their passage. Russia must stop its aggression, which is affecting us all. Yeah, so there's a lot of people. It's so crazy to completely forget about all these little things, right? There's students out there. There's people probably working abroad out there. There's probably people on vacation out there. Like, how are they getting home? What are they doing? Are they becoming refugees? What's happening with flying out of Ukraine? Do they have to go to a country nearby and fly out? This is all information that needs to be put out there, like, quite drastically. International Criminal Court opens war crime inquiry. We already went over that. UN says 227 civilians killed. Officials say another 525 civilians have been injured across Ukraine. It's shocking. US postponed ICBM test launch in move to lower nuclear tensions. Yeah, that makes sense, but I don't think Russia care about that. Russian officers could end up in court. UK warns. BBC launches new software radio service in Ukraine. Great idea to get information. At the end of the day, information is key out there. Comms is key out there right now. Making sure everybody's aware of what's going on. The people in the subways know that if they go to this place, they're going to be okay. If they go over here, it's bad. They need to know this stuff. Very, very important. US warns staggering human costs in Ukraine conflicts. We already know that. Russia reported to ICC the largest ever referral. I'm not sure what that's about. Russia has been reported to the International Criminal Court. Okay, yeah, okay. Yep, we already know about that. Down cruise missiles caused Kiev explosions. US top. So this is a lot of stuff that we kind of already kind of know about. Russian convoy into Kiev remains stalled. Pentagon. Holy, that's a big friggin'... Wonder what's going on there. The U.S. Department of Defense says Russian forces have achieved little progress. Sorry, again, I'll tell everyone I've got dyslexia, so reading some of these articles can be a bit of a struggle sometimes. In particular, a 60-kilometer, 40-mile convoy of troops pushing south into the capital Kiev has been slowed by Ukraine fighters and remains stalled, spokesman says on Wednesday. We believe the Russians are regrouping themselves and reassessing the progress they have not made. Yeah, so this is a good and bad thing, right? Ukraine are holding the forces at the end of the day, but Russia is also going to be slowly regrouping. Okay, we're going on to the map. Let's go over to the live map here. There's a few things I want to go over, right? So can I zoom in a tiny bit? I don't want to go too far in. Let's talk the south here. This whole part here was not taken over. If you notice, they're really pushing up this right-hand side and the left-hand side here. The kind of tactic that a lot of classic military takes is they do kind of outspurts and circle back on themselves and then take that area. Outspurts, circle back on themselves, take that area. You're seeing that up here near Kiev. You see these two outspurts here? My guess is there's a bubble here, actually. Right behind these outspurts, there's a bubble. This is a place that they're going to take over. They've got troops surrounding it, right? So the idea is spurt, close off the area, and then you've surrounded them. And that's when it's easier to take these people. So you can see these little spurts happening around here. And it looks like they're really pushing on this northwest side here of Kiev. We know they've already got this area here, which comes all the way down to the airport. What's this say? Russian helicopter on the ground after... clashes. There you go. What's this? Destroyed Russian Typhoon 4x4 vehicle. This is a lot of, you know, it can be tweets and it could be all sorts on social media. Artillery shells hits building by Kiev station. Just now, eyewitness reports. Just so you know, that was 4 hours ago. I am recording this Wednesday the 2nd at 5:44 Eastern time. Just so you guys are well aware of that, okay? We're seeing this little border here get a little bit more attention, which is kind of dangerous because we are starting to board other countries that we know, you know, there's NATO surrounding this. We know there's US troops in here. So, you know, they're going to start getting a little hairy if they're not careful. Down here in Georgia, there seems to be a bit going on down here in Georgia, which I didn't expect. I don't know the intricacies around Georgia, so I can't really talk on that. But we're seeing a lot over here on the east, as you would expect. Russian troops damaged gas pipeline. Again, they're going for resources. We already spoke about that up here in Kiev. They're already going after the airports. If I zoom right in, where we can see more of the smaller fighting. I apologize that it's not loading as quick as I'd like it to. But there's a little red around the airport here. You're going to see that these airports, there's going to be little bits. Please hurry up and load. There's going to be little bits of fighting around the airports because all they're trying to do is they're trying to strangle Kiev. They're going to try to take away the resources, the means of exit. And again, this is going exactly against what Putin said he wanted, to unify the countries. He's doing the complete opposite. He's surrounding them and he's choking them to death. That's what he's doing. Fights around the airports. We already know this. We've got small little battles happening all around Kiev here. Little bits of red here. Again, another airport here. Large part taken by Russian forces there. I know there's an airport just to the north here somewhere. A smaller airport. I'm not sure where that is. But the major airport here, completely taken. Completely taken. We've got a small airport here, what it looks like. I don't know if these are small private airports. This one's completely taken over here. There you go. So they're just trying to strangle them. There really are. Is this going to be more shells? Multiple explosions heard in Kiev. This is going to be sirens. War crimes are happening here, says Ukraine Rabbi Moshe. The Russian army that was beating the Nazis in 1941 is bombing civilians in Kiev. Never thought I'd say that. Holy cow. Artillery strikes. A convoy of Russian military equipment with V-marks was moving along the M10 highway from Gomel towards Rekticha. I'm sorry about the pronunciation. 2 Russian missiles were launched towards Ministry of Defense of Ukraine and HQ of Land Forces of Ukraine. Missile near Ministry of Defense was shot down. So they are defending. They're still defending. What's this one over here? Armed Forces of Ukraine have fully cleared this region. Commander. So this region here so happens to be an airport area here. It must be a private one. Very small aeroplane icon there. It looks like they're trying to do... Look at this spurt coming down here. They're really trying to push. Looks like they've been in trouble here with the Russia. Like, you can see what's going on right here. You can see they're trying to see in this little airport here. They're thinking they might be getting supplies there. They're pushing down. Boom. Explosion. But Ukraine are doing well there. And that's the battle that's happening. Look at this. Airport's completely gone. So we can see what's happening in Kiev. We can see the spurts that are happening. They've taken ground. It's been 3 days since the last update. They've taken ground. Nowhere near as much as I thought they was going to do. There were people saying that they're going to have the whole of Ukraine taken over in the next 3 or 4 days. I'm not seeing that. I think this is more like a good month of combat to see this whole area taken. What will happen is, if as soon as they take Kiev and as soon as they take some major resources, the whole country may collapse. But until then, we're going to start seeing the east part slowly kind of being engulfed by the Russians. Unless, obviously, otherwise happens, unless something bad happens and UN goes in, US goes in, Europe goes in. Over here in Moscow, that's the 498 apparently dead. Nationwide, worldwide protests against Putin's war. Apparently, Putin is very good at turning around and saying military deployment, any kind of protests are going to be shut down. More military deployment. Yeah, so you can kind of get the grasp of what's happening here. Let's have a look up here. Protesters in St. Petersburg. What have we got over here? 2 Russian Su-27s and 2 Russian Su-24s violated Swedish airspace 4 hours ago. The violation was short-lived and took place in eastern Gotland across the sea. Oh my god, they're pushing the luck. They're pushing the luck. Over here, we don't really need to worry about all this stuff. This is just general news on this side over here in Spain, France, and Germany. Let's have a look over here. At least 1,400 war refugees from Ukraine have arrived in Berlin's main station this evening. Yeah, as expected. The US has delivered hundreds of Stinger anti-aircraft missiles to Ukraine for the first time over the last few days, including over 200 on Monday, according to US officials and a congressional source briefed on the matter. They're very expensive, them weapons. Very expensive. So 200 is a lot. Let's hope they get some more. This down here is probably more shells being dropped. Turkish-owned was hit by a missile in the Black Sea off the coast of Ukraine. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So you're getting the kind of gist of what's going on here. I'm telling you the ways that they're trying to take land. That's the update I'm going to give. Let's hope it doesn't get any worse than it already is. I say that every time, and it keeps getting worse. So my big hope is that there's more humanitarian aid for the people in the subways, refugees. I hope there's less civilians killed, and I hope that eventually Russia realize what they're doing. They're destroying their own economy, and I hope Putin's taken out of power, because I think people are going to start to turn on him very, very quickly. Other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. If you've got better updates or any other updates that people should know about, leave them in the comment section down below. I know a lot of you guys don't believe that the BBC is a credible source. I've searched around on all different sources from all different political agendas and the political spectrum, and the BBC seems to be giving the best summary of the most consistent headlines that I'm seeing. That's the only way I'm doing it, guys, okay? But if you do have better sources, leave them in the comment section down below. These videos that I'm doing, these updates, the break from my regular videos of gaming and stuff like that, is to try my hardest to just give information out there to people of Europe, and especially people of Ukraine. The more information we can give them, the most update we can, the better, right? That's all we're trying to do. So for now, members, you're beautiful. I love you. I'm going to talk to you more in the Discord soon. Merch is available down below. Check it out. Other than that, if you're in Europe, if you're in Ukraine, or anywhere in the world is crazier these past couple of years. Kiss your family. Have a good one. Stay safe. Learn to be more sustainable. Self-sustainable. The better way of saying it. And let me know in the comment section if you've got any questions. Other than that, I love you all. I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.